So Indivisible is part of the Defund Hate Coalition. It's a broad coalition of groups working on cutting DHS funding because there's a lot of things that are happening on the Hill, but one of the few things that we can do to make an impact this year is on the funding fight. That is a must-pass bill in the Congress. So that's an opportunity for us as advocates to push members of Congress to actually do something about immigration. It is what we've seen from Trump is attack after attack after attack against immigrant families, which is why we need to have Democrats, especially on the Hill, take a bold stand against some of those attacks. All of that needs to get funded by Congress, which is why it's an opportunity for us to make a difference by cutting that funding. So two approaches. One of them is, we do apply direct pressure on members of Congress from our groups, so local groups in different places of the country applying pressure. We have been focusing on appropriators in those key committees that are responsible for setting the funding for those agencies. So our groups have been actively pressuring those members. On top of that, we've been part of a number of days of action around immigration. So just today, many of the folks in our network were part of the Lights for Liberty actions, which were, try to close the camps. We also worked with Move On and UWD on the Close the Camp campaign from last week. So our groups have been active. They have done the protest. They've also continued to directly pressure members of Congress, the ones that are in key committees and broadly members of Congress, because they're the ones who have the most power to do something about it. So we've always pressured both Democrats and Republican. We are nonpartisan in the way that we apply our pressure. The difference is that now we have the House, and so now we have a lever of power. The House, last time it was all defensive, and so a lot of that work was targeting Republicans because they're the ones who control the agenda. Now Democrats also control the agenda, and so it means that we have to continue to apply pressure on Democrats because in the House, they're the ones running the show. So if we really want to make a difference, we need to make sure that Democrats are living up to their values. We had a wave election last year, and Democrats rode into power on a platform, and we want to hold them to it. And one of them was to fight back on the Trump agenda, and if they're not doing enough, we are holding them accountable. That's part of the job, part of our theory of change. So we apply pressure on both Republicans and Democrats. It just happens that Democrats are in control of the House, where we have the most leverage right now. Yeah, so look, we had a really awesome H.R. 1 proposal. It is a bold package for democracy reforms. They prioritized it. They moved it immediately once after the shutdown. So that's great. It's great that they're prioritizing democracy reforms because when we have to win by 9 points to take the House, that's a fundamental problem with our democracy. And so it's great that Democrats are prioritizing that. On immigration, it's been mixed because yes, we have stopped the bleeding. Republicans can no longer pursue some of the extreme changes to immigration that they were doing last Congress. But just 2 weeks ago, they passed a funding bill that gave Trump billions of more dollars without any kind of accountability. And what we have seen is that Trump uses every dollar he can to go after families. And so that is a big loss. That was a big loss for progressives because Democrats gave Trump more money to go after families. So that is not what we expect from Democrats. And that was pushed by leadership in the House. And then also 84 senators voted for that in the Senate, which means a lot of Democrats, including from Democratic states like Dianne Feinstein, voted for billions of dollars to give to Trump. So it hasn't gone as well as we were hoping.